I think I remember the lyrics.
All right, we're getting a follow-up from yesterday's episode. Sing it, sister.
I'm I'm drunk and I wanna go home. Do do do. I'm tired and I wanna go to bed. Do do do. That's what I remember. I think I'm right.
You're listening to Chicagoland's finest podcast, featuring the Gorehound,
Well, because I'm bringing us in.
Jen,
I mean, it's horrifying because,
Cousin Charles, and Nick.
I know. I thought I was going to screw it up again.
It's time for the all-new Culture Cast, starting now.
I'm Nick,
I'm Kiwi.
And I'm Cousin Charles.
and this is the all-new Culture Cast, and we're back again to continue discussing the Jaws series in honor of Shark Week on Discovery Channel. We are not paid by Discovery Channel, but if Discovery Channel wants to give us some money, we will certainly take it. Cuz I realized as we were wrapping up the last episode there, I kind of just quickly got us out of there, and I didn't ask if you had any final thoughts on the original Jaws. So I apologize.
Oh, it's all right.
Do you want?
All is forgiven.
Thank you. Do you want to make up for it? Did you have any final thoughts on the original Jaws?
It's really hard to criticize a movie kind of like this. Just a solid. It's a solid movie just through and through. I mean, there's a reason it stood the test of time, and why even 40 years later, people of even my generation can still enjoy this movie, and I assume a lot more people will.
Well, Jaws, the original one, may stand the test of time, but just when you thought it was safe to go back into the water, Jaws 2 happened. And that's our topic for today, folks. We're talking about Jaws 2, the 1978 sequel, which did not feature direction by Steven Spielberg, but Roy Schneider came back as Brody, as did his wife. His kids were completely different, which,
Yeah, the kids, okay, I looked up the ages of the actors, and I think in the first movie there was a 5-year age difference, which I get, like they're kids, and not everyone looks for age, but then in the second movie it seemed like there was a bigger age difference, and the actors were 8 years apart. Because the youngest seemed like he didn't age much, and the older one seemed like he really aged in between movies. No, and I know there's like, time has, since happened, but I'm like, these kids are not the same age.
something's
People
in
age
that
different
water.
on the island.
Yeah. It's funny. It's like each of the Jaws movies feature the two kids in each of the films, and in each movie they're played by different actors. It's almost like the Vacation films where Chevy Chase's kids are played by different actors. Yeah, Jaws 2. So let's see the story of this. It's been a couple years since the original attack on Amity.
Amity.
Amity. I got it. Got a speech impediment or something. Amity. And by happenstance, another shark starts attacking people. Of course, no one wants to believe there's another shark attack, and only Chief Brody is the one who believes it. And he goes. People think he's going crazy because he's firing guns on the beach, and hijinks ensue. So, Kiwi, you defend this. You've defended this movie to me. What makes you like this movie?
I just don't think it's as bad as what people say, and it's basically the exact same plot as the first movie. The first movie's a classic. This is a nice sequel to it. Now, I will defend the second one. I will not defend 3 and 4.
Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. We're still in the 70s right now.
I just don't think the movie's as bad as what people say it is.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, it's fine. It's definitely not as good as the original, but for
it's no Toy Story 2.
Yeah, or House Party 2 for that matter. It's fine. It's fine. It's
yeah. I mean, if you like the first movie, I think you'll like the second one.
Yeah, it gives
I do Miss Hooper being in the movie. They call him up and like, oh, he's out at sea. You can't reach him.
The old the wife's on an island where anytime you need to get rid of a character because they couldn't appear, they just sort of explain it away like, oh, they're visiting relatives or whatever.
They're visiting Aunt Marjorie out in Kansas.
Yeah, kind of like how in The Dark Knight Rises, how Gordon's family is just mysteriously absent, and they're like, oh yeah, she wants to divorce him, so they moved away. It's like, okay. But but no, I mean this movie it's fine. I mean they take a little bit a different approach in that they focus more on like the kids, like the teenagers being silly teenagers. And I swear to God, half of this movie seems like teenager antics on boats. Like I don't know, Kiwi, Cuz, what are your thoughts on that?
It's of the era. It was in that time, kids were kids. You didn't have all the restrictions, and they could just go outside, play all day, not talk to the parents, go sailing. You didn't. It wasn't today where you would never let your kid go sailing by themselves. At least probably teenagers anyway.
I would argue that in a town like Amityville, man, why can't I?
Amity?
I'm drunk tonight, but in a town like that. In summertime, like I bet you would still see a lot of that. Like if you would go to like Lake Geneva or something, I bet the kids in town would still be out and about boating and everything.
I suppose if you grew up in that, environment, maybe not the people visiting the town, but maybe
Sure.
You're right.
Sure, because most of the kids were townies.
Native. Yeah.
So, Cuz, what are your thoughts of Jaws 2?
Well, I had no, like I said, when it comes to the Jaws sequels, I had a basic kind of like idea of like what each film was about, but kind of after watching it, it definitely feels like the biggest problem with Jaws 2 is the fact that the biggest problem with Jaws 2 is the fact that the first Jaws exists. And it just takes the idea of, okay, what happens if there's a giant, basically killer shark story? What can we do with that? And Jaws 1 I feel like it did everything it could have done with that premise of keeping it without making it too silly. And then when it came time for a sequel, everybody sort of sat around in a room and was like, well, now what do we do?
Yeah.
That's what a lot of this movie feels like. I would say, it definitely feels like two movies. One movie that I kind of wish they could have developed a little bit more, which is Chief Brody going crazy. I think if we didn't have that first shot that basically said, oh yeah, there's another giant killer shark, we could have had I think it would have been a much stronger movie, because then you just have Chief Brody's paranoia starting to build on him. He's seeing things, and people are like, oh, he's making connections that aren't there. But because they already showed that, yes, there is a shark, we as the audience already know, yeah, Chief Brody's right, everybody else is wrong.
So you're saying, like, hold back on the shark until, like, later on in the movie where you think, well, Chief Brody's going crazy, and then surprise, and then it's like, all right, it's shark knocking time.
Right, he was right the whole time, kind of deal. And then the second movie, and then it was like, okay, they wrote a script for that and realized, okay, we only have a half-hour movie on our hands. So the rest of it, they decided to take teens at boat camp and slap it in there because they figured, one, well, a lot of the teenagers saw the first one, so we got to have teenagers in our movies in order to have our teens come back to the theater. They're like, I can relate to that. And oh my God, okay, here's a real question for the day is, how many teenager subplots were there? Because I honestly lost count after a while.
There were a lot of teenager subplots. There was the cousin who wanted to date the chief's son. There were the nerds who were like, oh, girls won't like me. There was like the mayor's kid who was like the town jock, but not really. Yeah, there was a lot of things going on.
I will say, now that you're bringing it up about the different subplots, in today's society, would you see all those kids hanging out? Because they were
No.
a very diverse group of kids. I was like, were those nerds really hanging out with the jocks? I'm like, I mean, it could happen, but those two groups generally don't mix.
Yeah, they're definitely tying into what's every high school clique, and we'll have someone there. So, it's
So you're saying it was Breakfast Club before the Breakfast Club?
Yep, pretty much. This was the Breakfast Club ripped off Jaws 2.
Take that, John Hughes.
John Hughes said, if I remove the shark from this movie, I think I might be onto
Oh
something.
my God.
I got something there.
If I turn the shark into the dean of students, let's explore this.
I can see.
Mr. Hughes, you can't have the shark say, you mess with the bull, you get the horns.
You mess with the shark, you get the fin.
Ooh.
See, this is what Gorhan's missing out on,
Great John Hughes Jaws adaptations.
I have to mention again, I love the era of the clothes and the hairstyles. You just don't get that anymore.
Kiwi, do you want me to flare my hair like that? I will. I'll do it.
Go for it.
I'll take off my clothes, I swear. I'll take them off. Just because I'm actually referencing something. About a year or two ago, Kiwi and we went up to Kiwi's parents. They have like a...
God, I think it's been like 3 or 4 or 3.
No more than three. But Kiwi's parents have a campsite up in Wisconsin, in a town I guess is not too dissimilar from Amity. And we went to one of the local bars one time, and we're walking down the street, and there's this woman who was drunk like a skunk. Like, her friends were like holding her up, and we didn't catch the whole conversation, but the only thing we heard when we were passing was the woman was saying, "I'll do it. I'll take off my clothes. I swear, I'll take them all off."
She said, "I'll get naked if you want me to."
Yeah. It's like, wow.
Oh, that's funny.
And it was
And
like,
the two men were just smiling that were holding her up. So
I'm guessing they were friends or they knew her, but yeah, they were definitely trying to like, okay, this woman needs to go lie down or something. Well, what was it, like 3 p.m. or something? Like, I don't know why she was.
Oh my
it
God.
was.
I don't know why
It
she was
was.
that drunk that early in the afternoon.
It was probably a holiday weekend because it's generally when
Yeah.
we go up to the camper anymore. But yeah, it was definitely in the afternoon because I think we are going to go and have like a drink and a snack or something. And yeah, we're getting way off topic.
It tells you how great this movie is that our island resort adventures are more exciting. But
I mean, basically, it's a version of the first movie.
mhm.
There's way more teenagers, and the shark dies at the end.
I did like what they were doing with Sheriff Brody. I liked that they made him more paranoid, that he was trying to be more proactive, that it's a shark. He gets fired in the movie, which you never know if he gets his job back, because like the first movie, once the shark's dead, the movie's over. But like I kind of like the journey he goes on. I think it's because I really like Roy Schneider. I think he's a solid actor. I think he really sells Brody's emotions and everything during that film.
That's the one thing I will say is that I think if it wasn't for, he really gives it his all. He's not like, again, Jaws 2. You could expect him to kind of throw it in. He really kind of gives 110% on them. Well, one of the things I appreciated that they did in this movie, it was sort of implied in a couple of the scenes of that Chief Brody was an alcoholic. But in this movie, every other scene, he is getting drunk. He's like taking like a pint glass and filling it up with whiskey. There's empty beer cans by his police cruiser. I'm pretty sure Chief Brody is drunk in almost every other scene.
Was it implied? Well, I mean, no, he was drinking at the end when he got fired, and understandably so, I suppose. But I don't remember any hints in the first one that he was an alcoholic.
There's one scene I think in it's when Matt Hooper first comes to town and he goes to Chief Brody's house, and he's like, I think they're having he's having a bottle of wine, and he just pops open the red. He fills his glass, which is again a pint glass, and then he gives his wife and Hooper a little bit.
I interpreted as that he was just upset and he just wanted to have a drink. I don't know if it implied that he was an alcoholic.
I would say, I'd say Quint was probably the heavier drinker of the three. But then again, he was a seaman, so that kind of goes hand in hand almost. I mean, I guess, I don't know. He might be drunk, he might just like his booze, who knows. But,
I just appreciate it as Chief Brody's drunk and crazy and, is going to get that shark, despite what everyone else thinks.
I'm going to get that shark, if it's the last thing I do. Did any of the teenagers die? I felt like at least one or two of them were eaten.
One for sure had fallen off and got eaten. The woman that was on the boat with the little boy.
That's right.
She fell in the water.
And then the kid was too afraid to move.
Yeah.
And
there was a close call. The shark swam past, brushed up against another girl because her stomach got cut.
That's right. And didn't the cheerleader or the Miss Amity, her boyfriend got eaten?
Yeah, in the boat. Because the shark attacked the boat.
Oh, that's who that was. Okay, this is kind of going back to one of the other problems with the teens, is that none of them are visually distinct enough. I got a lot of the characters confused. If it wasn't for the fact that I had subtitles on, would tell me identify who was speaking, I honestly thought that the first boy that gets eaten, I thought that was either the mayor's son or Mike this time until it said Ed the subtitle screen. Yeah, they're way too similar, in terms of how they look.
They definitely could have cut down on the number of teens in this movie. I mean, there are too many where you could really focus on caring or giving these characters making them an actual character.
See, I didn't have problems distinguishing them. I think there was two girls. I'll give you that. I think there was two girls that looked similar, but I feel like everyone else was distinct. Definitely had the nerdy guys and the jock and then the son and the cousin and no, really.
I mean, I know all the characters you're talking about, but it was almost too many to keep track of at a certain time. It's oh yeah, there's that guy. Oh yeah, and there's that guy. I feel if they would cut down some of the other teen characters and focus more time on developing the ones that they had, I mean, it'd make them more actual characters that we care about. The girl who was the cousin who was trying to date the chief's son, I couldn't tell you one thing about her other than that she was brunette and pretty. That was her character. Oh, and she whined a lot.
The cousin.
And the cousin. I mean, should we care that they want to date, that he can't go and hang out with her? I mean, I don't know. Give me something. There's not much there. Or how the nerdy guy ended up kind of sort of dating not the cousin, but the cousin of the cousins. That makes sense. The one who was the chief's friend who wanted to introduce the I think she was curly haired.
Yeah, the townie.
Yeah, the townie girl, and how they kind of were hanging out together. It's you want to hang out with me? It's okay. Is there a reason we should care about this right now? I'm not sure what's going on.
Well, what was weird, and this kind of goes into a little bit of my thing of all the teens are way too similar. We have We have Mike, which is Rhodey's kid, and then we have Larry Jr., who's the mayor's kid, and then we have the two nerds. Now, there's the one nerd that looks like Napoleon Dynamite, and
Yeah.
then there's his friend. Now, the nerd that looks like Napoleon Dynamite is like he's got the hots for the one girl that he goes on the boat with. But during the like final bit when they're all like kind of stranded, that character actually goes away, and then it's his friend who kind of sort of takes up that role of sort of like showing that he's heroic and stuff like that with the one girl.
Well,
and then the other thing I thought was weird was that Mike gets injured and basically goes away.
yeah, that is true.
But then his same sort of character actions are taken up by Larry, like the way Larry sort of comforting the little kid, just the way and that would make sense if that was like Mike and his little brother. But throughout the rest of the movie, Larry's been kind of a jerk. So it was very weird. It was like at some point, some character roles got script or somebody got the wrong scripts. It was like it seemed like certain characters should have been in one scenario and other characters should have been in another. Like Larry should have been on the escape boat because he's like, I can't die, I'm the mayor's son,
And then gets eaten by the shark.
Exactly. It was very very weird.
Yeah, you make a great point that I didn't think about. Is that like the chief's son, the older son, he gets knocked on the head, and then the other boat goes off to take him to shore, and then that's it. Like you're following this character the whole movie, and then he's like not there for the climax, which is you think he would want to stick around for. Yeah, and something else that you just made me think of, cause is that in both of these Jaws movies, there's not like one character that you want to see get eaten. Like in every other horror movie or suspense movie, there's like that one character that you just like, he's an a-hole, he's a jerk, you're like, I can't wait for this guy to get killed by, Freddy or something like that. And in the Jaws movies, much to my surprise, and I the first one I'm not surprised, I guess, because it's actually trying to be a classy movie, but as the movies go on, you think they would introduce like that one a-hole character that like, yep, you're going to get eaten by the shark and we're going to like it a lot.
Don't you think the mayor's son kind of played that role?
But not enough. Like he's kind of like
Not in it enough.
Well, there's that, but he's not even that big of a jerk. Like he's trying to like get together with the cousin, but it doesn't go his way. He's like, meh, okay, whatever.
Let's clarify, not his cousin.
I mean, when you're on the island.
Yeah. Hey, we don't know. It could have been his cousin. We don't know the full details. So there's it's interesting that we didn't quite have that. Like, yeah. Let's talk about. I want to talk about something positive that I really liked about Jaws 2. Was that I like what they did with the shark. I like that the shark has like this disfigurement. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was actually, the shark is probably the highlight of this movie. Especially, I would say, I kind of like this shark a little bit more than the one from the first Jaws movie. Because in the first one, they kind of balanced the shark being like a real animal, but also kind of a supernatural monster.
Mm-hmm.
This one, the shark's just a straight up serial killer. He's just killing people, just like, chomp, you're dead. Chomp, you're dead. Like, there's no kind of like that animal logic of like, food, eat. It's just like, nah, I'm going to kill every human I come across for no reason whatsoever.
Was this, and Kiwi, you might remember better, was this the first time that the shark howled? Or did that happen in the later ones? Because I know in number 4, it definitely did that, where it was like,
it growled. Yeah.
I don't remember if it did it in this one or not.
I want to say no, but...
Well, you know what? We will, tonight, or whenever, we will watch Jaws 2 again, because it's streaming right now on Amazon Prime. Another plug. If Amazon wants to give us money, we'll take it.
I was just going to say, are you plugging another company?
to see if the shark roars, and we'll get back to you in the next episode. But
Well, as long as we're plugging companies, I'm drinking my Bones Coffee Shark Bite. You want to throw me some money for advertising your coffee? You know where to find me.
so that's 3 companies we've pimped in this episode. Cuz, do you have any companies you want to pimp?
I'd like to give praise to the refreshing taste of Wolf Cola.
Wolf Cola. Going back to the nerds, the nerds had the girl on his boat, and they all stuck together because if she left, she wouldn't want to leave because of the implication.
Because of the implication.
I'm not saying anything bad's going to happen, but people fall off boats into shark-infested waters all the time. That's the implication, right?
It's like, okay, you had me up to a point, but now you've lost me. It sounds like we're gonna push him and have the shark eat him. But anyway, so okay, let's we're kind of getting along here, so we'll wrap this up. So, Jaws 2. I mean, I don't know how much we actually talked about the movie because we went on a lot of tangents tonight. But it's fine. It's fine. It's not as good as the original. What could be as good, but it's serviceable. It's a fine adventure film or thriller or whatever you want to call it. And honestly, with a Jaws movie, what really more could you do without going in a radical direction that's going to turn people off? Like, set it in a SeaWorld or something. I mean, they didn't do that, and I don't think they ever will do that. Anyway, so I guess that'll... any final thoughts on Jaws 2, folks?
I will say this. It probably has my favorite death in, cinematic history. It's the first time... Oh, actually, technically, the second time the shark attacks. It gets the shark gets the water skier. The best friend's like, Susie. The shark rams the boat, takes a bite out of the boat. The girl's freaking out. She takes a can of gasoline to hit it, but then douses herself. Then she grabs a flare gun, lighting herself, the shark, and exploding the boat. Best death ever. In terms of just how it went from 0 to 100 really fast. That was oh my god, this is amazing. If we could just have more deaths like that. They tried following it up with the shark attacking the helicopter, but not nearly as great.
I question what she thought she was going to do with that gasoline.
So she made a decision, she had to stick with it. It's always sunny in Amity. Kiwi, any final thoughts before we get out of here? It's getting kind of late for us.
Like you said, it's kind of a copy and sort of paste of the first movie. If you like the first one, you'll probably enjoy the second one.
All right. So I think that'll about do it for Jaws 2. Thanks for everyone who listened. Next episode, we're going to be talking about Jaws 3D.
Whoa.
That's all I got. So I'm Nick.
I'm the Kiwi.
I'm Cousin Charles.
All right. See you next time.
You've been listening to the all-new Culture Cast. Check out our blog at znculturecast.wordpress.com. Send us an email at nick.culturecast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your feedback, comments, and requests. Follow us on social media. Theme music by bensound.com. The all-new Culture Cast, a saltwater production. Original material copyright 2018. Thanks for listening.
Can you bring that mic a little closer?
Yeah, is this good?
Yeah. Keep it there.
Yeah. Okay. So
Just chew on it.
I'll get to the back of my esophagus.